lunchtime, good early afternoon. It's Jazz. It's the West Ham Irons channel. Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone is healthy. Everyone is in good spirits. The season has started, and as we all know, a very disappointing start. Yesterday at the London Stadium, our first game of the season, home game. It finished West Ham United 1, Aston Villa 2. Particularly hate losing the first game of the season. Even going back to when I was growing up, I used to want to stay unbeaten as long as we can. I used to love looking at the league table, and I remember 1983, 84 when I was incidentally abroad on holiday actually for a long time. I was in India actually with my mum, and when I came back, because back then there was no internet, no phones, minimal football information in India, and Dad's like, it's played 5-1-5, 1983-84. West Ham United were top of the old Cannon League Division 1. It was West Ham played 5-1-5, drawn none, lost none. We beat Spurs, we beat Birmingham, one or two other, I think Everton even, I can't, it's like, I was just like looking at the league table when the news used to come on, like, wow, I think we finished ninth that season. I think that is a season that perhaps Alan Devonshire got that really bad move. But all in all to say, yeah, I hate losing the first game of the season. But yeah, you can start really well and then finish poorly or the other way around. So it's going to be a mature video from me. And I'm glad in a way I didn't do a video yesterday. I was away in Leicester on the family gathering. So I did watch the game, but I haven't made any videos on it. And I'm kind of glad. I didn't. I've seen a few of the other channels, what's been going on, so I won't comment on that. But I'm glad I've had, again, 24 hours, which makes such a difference, everyone. Listen, I will go back to, and I will never stop doing the immediate show after full time where it's live, it's interacting with you guys, my adrenaline's through. You know what I'm like, right? And I'll never stop doing that. I do like that, but I do appreciate, and I can't underestimate that when you've got another 24 hours, another day to sleep on it, to think about it, your next video will be much more meaningful, much more in-depth, knowledgeable, that kind of thing. And I'm hoping this is what it's going to be. It's going to be a fairly long show. I was thinking of splitting into two. So what we're going to do in this show, we're going to start off by talking about, obviously, looking at the lineup, a few things about what I think went wrong, and then something new we've not done on this channel. We're gonna dissect each goal to see what we think went wrong, really, and a few when they were like good chances. So we're gonna break it up, So throughout the season, I'm hoping I will look at the goals we've scored, how I think it happened, the build up, and when we concede goals or really good chances, what was the reason for that? So it's going to be a lot of analytics, tactics, and looking in game, a bit like what Sky do. So I hope you will enjoy that, really. But before we start, obviously we know the score, and again, just want to reiterate what we know, what I think went wrong, just generalizing without deep dive, which we'll do later on the show. It's a new manager. It's a transition period. But no doubt the manager for me is an improvement on David Moyes. He will play football in a better way, in a better modern way, and he's trying to emulate what other good teams are doing. And that includes Arsenal, right? I'm not saying we're going to be Arsenal under Lopetegui, far from it. But in terms of formations, like I spoke about, he's trying to implement a 4-3-3 system whenever he's ready. But I think what I would have done, like I said on the show, I mean, if we start off with... Actually, I won't go into it at the moment. Let me just summarize first, then we'll take a deep dive. So it's a new manager. It's a transition period. He wants to give the old players a chance, whether you like that or not, right? And that was part of the story yesterday. He wanted to have a look. He thinks it's fair. They've done reasonably well under David Moyes, if you look at the whole term, not just a disappointing last season. It's a big change. He's trying to make a big change. He's trying to change the formation, the way we're playing. That's another big thing. The opposition manager, Emery, is one of the best in the world. And unfortunately, we came up against a Champions League qualified team, a very, very good team, and a world-class manager. So that's difficult. Tactics-wise, he's going to outdo you in many, many ways, and that's kind of what happened. And obviously, he's trying. I think Lopetegui is trying to do too much too early and trying to impress us too much. He's trying too hard, and some of you are disappointing with the subs. We'll get to that. So before we take a deep dive, I think those are the 6, 7 things that kind of contributed to yesterday. Really, it's a new manager. It's a transition period. He's giving the old players a chance. It's a big change in what he's trying to achieve from what we were to what he wants us to be. Opposition Villa manager, world class, trying to do too much too early, and the subs, I think. So that's kind of what it is, really. Now I'm going to kind of share a few things with you, and we've kind of take it from that, really. Let's just have a look at a summary of, first of all, what kind of happened. This website is saying that we've set up 4-2-3-1, and that's not accurate. It's not accurate. I wanted to do 4-2-3-1, and later on I'll show you. You remember my team from the tactics show a couple of days ago. I would have done 4-2-3-1. Somerville, Kudos Bowen the 3 behind Fulkrug, with Rodriguez, Paqueta as a CDM, so not play Souček, not play Antonio. Bring in Basaka for Kufal. Bring in Todibo starting instead of Mavropanos. So I would have made some big changes, bringing in the new signings. I think we're ready and an improvement, and just hit the ground running. And then if it doesn't work out, then I'll revert back to the old players like Antonio, Souček, Ward-Prowse, Kufal, so on, really. So this is not accurate. What really happened, I'll show you later on in the detail window. It was 4-3-3. He tried it, so I think he did too much. He tried to not only change the formation for what he wants straight away, which I think is a mistake. He used the old guard to play 4-3-3. That's two big mistakes for me. 4-3-3, we haven't got the 100% personnel to play that. And again, we'll look at that. And we did that in my other show, right? So he tried to change the formation using the current David Moyes players, and that was a big no-no, really. Looking at the ratings, Antonio, absolutely right. Had a piss-poor game, absolutely shit, had nothing much to offer. But at least Lopetegui knows now. I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure he'll learn from that. And I'm really disappointed that Antonio was just lethargically walking around like it's a long season. He's tired. It's like Lopetegui said. Aston Villa were much more energetic, much more excited, much more motivated, and that's wrong. First game of the season. Old players like Antonio, maybe an excuse for the new players like Kilman, but players like Antonio, Souček, Kufal, there's no excuse. There's no excuse in terms of a below par performance, really. Bowen, very, very quiet, and I'll try to explain a bit more kind of why. Rodriguez, a little bit hard for him, very, very hard for him, and I'll show you why. He had a very, very difficult game. Kudos was one of the bright sparks, but even by his standards, it didn't quite happen against Matty Cash. Paqueta, again, it's a mixed bag, isn't it? He got the goal, he got the penalty, but he lost the ball a lot. It went missing a lot. He left Rodriguez on his own a lot. Souček, it's Souček, isn't it? Won the penalty, nearly got the equaliser at the end, should have done so. But defending-wise, I don't think he offered nothing alongside, well, trying to be alongside Rodriguez, but wasn't really there or thereabouts. Emerson, no worse or better than anyone else. Mavropanos, very, very surprised to see him play. Very, very surprised. I didn't think he would be in the team. So that, again, was a case of perhaps just giving him a look. Very, very up and down game, as normally he is. Kilman was trying his best, but it's just, when you got defence around you like Kufal, Mavropanos, it's hard. He did a few things wrong. He did a few things all right. But I think when we get Basaka back in that back four and Todibo, it'll be much better for him. So, yeah, very, very difficult for him, really. I don't want to talk about the opposition much. Watkins was quiet. Bailey was rapid. Don't know too much about Rodgers, but he did a lot of good things. Matty Cash, don't really rate him. Gave away the penalty, but I understand from some of you kept Kudos quiet. That's about it. Duran, we'll come to that when we look at that goal, really. Let's have a see what other screen I've got. So that's kind of a lot of stats there. Don't really like to look at too many of them. You might not be able to see it, but it's just a case of goal attempts. So many goal attempts from an away team, Villa. They did play like the home team. 15 goal attempts, 14 from West Ham. Free kicks, loads of free kicks, loads of shots, good few corners. A very open game, dare I say. Very open game, really. And that kind of goes back to, I would have been at home, I would have been attacking from day one. I would have gone through 4-2-3-1, used Somerville, who instantly looked very, very assuring on the ball and really good when he came on, and I would have given them something to think about with players I don't know much about. You remember me saying that I would have gone at them. Instead, we didn't sit back. We played a very high line, and that kind of Villa loved that. They hit us on the break with lots of pace, and we were all over the place, and we'll go into that a bit more, really. So that's kind of on that, everyone. Let's kind of go into the kind of area you guys very much love. It's the tactics screen, really, the bubble screen, really. Got lots of things to kind of show you here, really. Let's start off by, I think we've seen that already, haven't we? Yeah, we've kind of give that one a miss. I don't think it's accurate anyway. So this is how I think Lopetegui set up, and the personnel wasn't a surprise to me. Like I told you, Antonio would play, Souček would play, Kafal would play. Mavropoulos was a shock for me. Him playing was a very, very big surprise for me. But the way it's set up, it's meant to be 4-3-3, everyone. Which again is a mistake. He should have done 4-2-3-1 and included Somerville and Basaka and Todibo in there. But as you can see, and I'll show you the kind of football Sky Sports stills when goals were being conceded and chances were being kind of Villa were creating chances. This is how it looked, and that's why we were playing a very high line, and in the central midfield area there was not enough cover with Rodriguez. He was by himself. Souček was kind of all over the place. He was on the wing, he was near Bowen. So that central, Rodriguez was exposed by himself. Paqueta, I'll show you one of the stills. Paqueta's where Bowen is. So Aston Villa are counter-attacking. Souček is nowhere to be seen, really. Rodriguez is by himself, outnumbered. Paqueta's near where Bowen is. Absolutely no discipline, nothing, like I said. Kudos, not his real job to defend a lot, but with the two behind Antonio not playing the three close together, Antonio again wasn't really visible in and around the area a lot. He was out the area. So the three up front were not really in line with each other. They weren't playing as a front three together. They were very much separated, I felt. It's just kind of what it was, and that's kind of what I saw was a 4-3-3, trying to be a 4-3-3. It's just all over the place. You can see that big gap between Kafal and Bowen on the defensive side. So if you're a winger attacking, like I'll show you in the stills, Paqueta ain't really there. He's kind of near where Bowen and Kudos are. So there's a big gap on the corner. Rodriguez is kind of struggling to look after Anana and 2-3. So and the defense is a high line. So all Villa had to do over and over again was just knock it long, and you're clean. You're behind the back four, or run down the wings. There's no cover there. So that's kind of what's happening there. Let me kind of share something else with you guys. So these are the kind of the stills. They're not that clear, but these are the kind of stills from the Nana goal. So this is kind of when the corner's taken, and you can see Antonio's lost his man. So if I show you another still, make it a bit more clearer than this one, really. Let's have a look. So if you have a look at that, actually, let me go back to number B. Yeah. So if you can see there's about 10 players in the penalty box. And so one, I don't know if it's Bowen, he's not really defending there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you need? Where are they? Where's your keys? Okay, sorry about that. So if you have a look at that, there's 10 players in the penalty box, and you can't blame the setup because, there's 10 defenders, 10 West Ham players, I'm including the goalkeeper in this, in the penalty area defending, everyone who needs to pick a player up has picked a player up. So as far as I can see, it's not really zonal marking. There is a man on every player. The issue is, I don't know if it's wrong or right, Antonio's been given the job of marking Onana, who's height-wise the biggest player, maybe the strongest player and most difficult player to control. So Antonio has lost Onana. And the problem is that if I show you the second still here, the problem is that, yes, the biggest problem, the first problem is Antonio's completely lost Onana. It wasn't the first time he did that, right? The second problem is, if you have a look at Kilman, number 26, and number 33, they don't really have anyone to mark. So no Villa players come on that side of the post. So they're three, and I know these things happen very quickly in split seconds. What Kilman could have done is perhaps foreseen that Antonio is struggling or slipped as normal and get in there and try to get in front of Onana if he can. That's kind of the only things I'm thinking about, is that, yeah, maybe the wrong person to mark Onana, and there was no backup plan. So if Antonio failed, then Kilman, instead of, which can happen sometimes, if you're standing there, one or two defenders not marking anyone, then make an effort to get where the ball is and make yourself in front of it, and just make them maybe head it over the goal line or something like that. So that's the kind of the biggest things for me. Is Antonio's lost him, and Kilman, above anyone else, what I can see is perhaps didn't try to help. But you're talking split seconds. Got to go back to the training ground and really figure, is Antonio the right? I would never pick Antonio. He's a clumsy. I'm not being personal. Antonio's fucking clumsy. He's always slipping, sliding. He doesn't do a lot of things right. Who else is there? Souček's a fairly big guy. Rodriguez can look after himself. I think Kilman. I mean, Watkins had a really poor game, but he couldn't foreseen that. So I think your centre backs have got to pick up the two biggest dangers. But even last year under David Moyes, every time we let in a goal, it was always Cresswell trying to mark their 6'3" defender, or Emerson. Emerson and whoever the fullbacks are, they're always marking the main strikers. I never understood that. And we used to see Agurd and Zuma on there not marking anyone. So in this still, Kilman, wrongly or rightly, Kilman's not marking anyone. He's got nothing to do, and he's our best defender. Is that right? I don't think so. Right? Was Onana really going to be this much of a threat? It's not my job to say that. I don't follow him last season. I don't really rate him. I didn't know that he had that much danger in him at Everton. Is it a new thing? Again, it's a great manager, Unai Emery, and it's going to be tactic for them going forward, right? We should have known that, foreseen that, and really put our good physical person in there, right? If it's such a threat, you could even put someone in there you normally wouldn't in the team, right? Mavropanos is a big lump. I can't even see where he is. The ball's just gone over him. So those are the kind of things to analyse from that. Let me just put the thing back in again. One moment. There's so many things in there. So again, like I said, put your comments in there. It's all about comments, interacting with you guys, and that kind of thing, really. Hang on, I'm trying to think where my bubbles have gone. I've lost my bubbles, everyone. Or I'll put this one on then for now, maybe. Hang on, won't be a minute. Yeah, we'll put that one on. That'll be fine. Okay, so that was that one. Let me now go on to the next talking point. There's a lot of stills and images I'm going to show you, so please bear with me. Right, everyone. This is the breakaway chance for someone called Rogers. I don't really know much about him. He plays in midfield, youngster. So this is a breakaway from Villa very, very early on after the Nana goal, right? One of the bits where I was like, this is going to be 4-0 before half-time. We're being carved open time and time again. Have a look at the number 10 on your right side. The first shirt on the right side of the screen is Paqueta. He's meant to be one of the three in midfield. You figure that one out. Antonio's next to him. Don't give a shit. Usual slow pace. Fuck it. Right? Souček, number 28. Central bottom bit, right? Where the fuck is he? He's meant to be a CDM. I think that's Rodriguez in the middle, in the centre circle, by himself. What is he meant to do? There's 4 Villa players, right? What is he meant to do? Kudos, again, I don't really rely on him, but there's such a gap. So there's no one in the centre circle being CDMs, right? And all these guys got to do is just run through you because we're playing a high line. So Souček, Paqueta, they're fucking nowhere near being central midfielders. It's a fucking joke. You're playing like well open, right? That's kind of the other thing. If you look at the other shot, this is the same Rodgers breakaway. So Rodgers has gone past the semicircle. It's like an army's gone into the border. Where's the fucking opposition? There's no one. And Rodriguez has started trying his best to do something, but Souček is nowhere to be seen. Paqueta's well out of the picture by now. He's not even nowhere near it, right? And then obviously the defense is there, but they're looking backwards. And then there's no protection for the defense from the midfield. The midfield's been, the invisible midfield has been bypassed by now. So you can see the issues. The defense, you can never go to defense, but this is kind of not really helping the defense. I keep pressing the wrong fucking thing, and it's pissing me off a bit like yesterday. Right? So bear with me again. So, oh my god, this does my nut in. So bear with me, everyone. There's so many bloody buttons in here. Let me try to bring that one back. It's always something going with me live, isn't it? You know what I'm like, innit? I found it again. 1 minute. Okay, that's it. Jazz, watch your fingers, son. Okay, let me close that. Let's go to the next screen now. There we go. So this is kind of more or less where Rodgers is going to cut in now, and now he's approached the penalty area and the shot will come in. Yeah, Kilman's kind of off balance. The cover's kind of there or thereabouts, but again, yeah, it's a case of the speed with Villa are breaking through an invisible CD central midfield, defensive midfield that's not there. There's just Rodriguez, and he can't do nothing against 3-4 of them, and that's the case, and the defenders are more or less trying to do the best. They just can't do it. Whether that's because it's a new centre-half partnership, maybe really. So that's kind of that one, everyone. Let's now go on to another key chance, which resulted in the Jamaican speedy winger Bailey. He must be one of the fastest in the Premier League, really. I don't know. He's got to be up there, isn't he? So this is Bailey going down the wing, which resulted in him hitting the post, and we'll come on to that. So this is a ball over the top, and this is us playing a high line. So this is Bailey on the left side of the screen, everyone. That's Bailey, and there's no defenders near him. It's just him and the goalkeeper. So they played it long, and there's no protection. Absolutely shocking, really. And if you have a look at the halfway line, there's a guy on the right. I think that's Souček. So again, the CDMs are nowhere to be seen. It's fucking shocking. Paqueta, mate, you know, you're not just there for the tricks and flicks, and when we give you gotta be in there as a CDM. And he's the player that's going to wreck the whole formation to include him. Do you know what I mean? So this is, again, Bailey running further into the area virtually. And yeah, what can the goalkeeper do? He's exposed. There's no defensive cover. And he takes it around there. And then, listen, I do want to balance when I have a go at people. So Kilman, again, like the rest, had a very, very difficult afternoon. But what Kilman managed to do was he came back as fast as he can. That shot hit the post, but what I didn't know, anyone, was that hit Kilman's back. And that helped it to hit the post. I'm just going to put the fan on. So that kind of, so that's a bit of a good thing that he came back and possibly, definitely looks like he stopped a goal from going in, really. So that's kind of that. I've done it again, haven't I? I can't believe this. Oh my days. You guys are probably laughing. What's going on here, matey? Okay, let me just get it back. And I'm hoping it doesn't happen again. Right. So that's that. Actually, 1 minute. Sorry about that. Now we're going to go on to the during goal, everyone. Right. This is the attack prior to the during goal. Kufal. Really poor game. And again, to sum it up, Kufal just doesn't stop crosses going in. And that's what Wan-Bissaka's all about, right? Doesn't stop crosses coming in. And before the ball's delivered, you can see it's Kufal's job, right? Everyone else, let's have a look. Where's the CDMs? Rodriguez, 11. He's nowhere near it. Who's protecting the back four? Souček. It just that it seems like every time Villa attack, we just running into position, not in position already. So again, it's got to be high line, but with the high line, you got to be able to control the ball, like what Lopetegui wants to do. So again, I think Lopetegui, everyone, he tried to change it too much with the wrong personnel, wrong players. You got to transition. You got to start off with 4-2-3-1 because Somerville, that boy needs to start, and he looked good when he come on, right? Somerville needs to start. It needs to be 4-2-3-1 because that serves us best. That's why perhaps Bowen was a bit isolated from Kudos a lot of the way in Antonio. It's got to be 4-2-3-1. Kudos in the middle. Um, Somerville and Bowen on the other side, and CDMs. Whether they're strong enough or not, we'll have a look. But we'll go with Rodriguez and Paqueta. Paqueta, if he can't play that CDM role, then I'm going to have to think about what to do with him. Otherwise, put Alvarez in there. I'm sure Alvarez and Rodriguez will be amazing CDMs together. They've played before. We've got to try it out. I'm not really part of the Paqueta love train. I'm sorry. If it's going to wreck a whole formation and he can't defend, it's a big issue. Soon as Todibo comes back in, and I saw lots of nice things from Todibo, especially on the floor. It looks like he's going to be the main guy who's going to start all the attacks from the back. Todibo, Kilman. Kilman will get very confident playing. It's hard for Kilman. Different partners all the time. You know, Zuma, Mavropanos, and the Gerd. It's difficult. And none of them really fit the bill. So Kilman next to Todibo, Wan-Bissaka, Emerson. Trust me, it's going to be day and night. It's going to be much better. But anyway, that's kind of the still one from there. Let's show you the more progress. So yeah, Kufal has been unable to put a tackle in, stop the cross coming in, and now the cross is about to come in, and the central defenders can't really do anything really about that anyway. But again, you can see John Duran. I think that's Kilman near him. I'm not sure. But yeah, we've been unable to foresee a danger, cut out the danger, read the danger, and there's been no ability from anyone from the midfield to help. So a right fucking shit show, a right shit show. And this is a shot from Mr. Duran, who I was saying is a monster. He's going to be one of the best strikers in the world. He's got everything in his game. There's very, very rarely you see a striker like that, but you can see his head and shoulders above. He's too good to be on the bench. Too good to be. Emery thinks he's going to keep him in a bag in the basket, hidden away somewhere for the last 10 minutes of a game. You got another game coming on. The board are not going to be happy that we're sitting on 40 million playing as a sub. Right, the man, what I love about him, he's got that Arnie thing about him, the aura, the confidence. He wasted loads of times. He was being a bastard. He was diving. He was being a fucker. But he's like, this is me, you know, and he had the confidence. Oh, man, he made such a difference. And brilliant finish, you know, and doesn't look like a deal's going to happen. Unfortunately, we fell short by 5 to 8 million. I don't know. Blame Villa if you want, blame us if you want, but there's very rarely you get a chance like West Ham to sign someone like that. And he's only 22, 21, I think. Amazing, really. What I don't want you guys to do is compare him with Fulkrug, because Fulkrug ain't nowhere near that level. He ain't going to score as much as that. He's just not as good as him. So don't go easy on Fulkrug. He's better than Antonio, but he's nowhere near Duran. But he'll do a job for a couple of years and be easy on him. He's a nice lad. Hopefully we'll get him to start. And that's the goal from him, really. So let me kind of go back to the normal screen, everyone, without me messing it up. There we go. So that's kind of what it's a mixture. Again, yep, new manager, transition, big change, incorrectly giving the old players a chance. Perhaps rightly giving them a chance. It's a right thing to do. It's a nice thing to do. It's a gentlemanly thing to do. I don't know. You let me know in the comments. I'm not a manager. I don't have that pressure of not picking them. I would have gone with 4-2-3-1, right? And you've kind of seen my team, what that would have been. I don't think I've got it here, have I? Don't think so to show you. I'll have a look. I'll see if I can see it. Otherwise, we'll carry on discussing it. Jazz's team, is it there? 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 I can't see it now. No, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't think it's there. I'm just going to look for it. It might be there. It might be there. Da, da, da. Jazz's window. I'm sure it was there. Dun, dun, dun. Come on, got so many things in here. No, I'm not going to find it. I don't think I'm going to find it. I got Lopetigi's wish team, but we went through that, didn't we, last time? Yeah, don't worry about it. But my team was 4-2-3-1. Everyone, including Somerville in there. He looked really, really good. But Somerville didn't have any fullback support. He was by himself, trying to control it versus 3 Villa defenders and that kind of thing. But at least we know. At least he knows. Lopetegi knows what we were saying all along. Antonio is shit. Kufau shit. Mavropoulos is shit. Souček, there's no time for them. Whether they're going to be good subs, they probably will be. But 4-3-3 is too early unless you get that Carlos bloke. Paqueta, he ain't really. See, the yardstick is Arsenal 4-3-3. Declan Rice, Partey in the middle, Martinelli sometimes, or Odegaard. And then Saka, Havertz, and one other. That's your yardstick, your measurement 4-3-3. If we play Fulgrig, I mean, he ain't Duran, right? You imagine Duran, Kudus, and Bowen. Oh my god! Can you imagine that? We blow Arsenal out the fucking window. But Fulkrig's okay, just above okay. He's all right. He's good. Back him. Don't have a go at him. So Fulkrig, Bowen, Kudus, it'll kind of do for now. 4-3-3. But the three in the middle is no problem. We've got Rodriguez. We've got Alvarez. But I'm not sure Alvarez can play on the wings of a 4-3-3. Nor can Paqueta. Paqueta's no disciplined. He's way out the picture like Antonio. He's not disciplined. So that's an issue for me trying to fit him in. There are players out there, but you'll have to look for them. Back four, I've got no problem with it. We'll get a new left back next year. Emerson's okay this year. It's fine. Right. So I think it's just a case of too much too early. Ward-Prowse came on as a sub, didn't he? I think I've got the thing where it shows you the substitutions, isn't it? Fulgrig. Again, too late for me, 73rd minute. Very surprised by that, everyone. Very surprised why we had to wait until the 73rd minute for Fulgrig and Somerville to come on. Bowen coming off. I know he had a quiet game. I'm not going to say anything, but I don't know. A lot of these players that come from the Euros, they're funny enough, they're not match fit because they haven't played a lot and they haven't trained a lot. So that's the issue, everyone. You might be thinking, Bowen's relaxed, holidays. He's short of match fitness because he hasn't played a lot. So he'll catch up. Danny Ings had a good chance, fucked it up. Todibo was okay. I mean, he straight away marked Duran. He was all right, I felt. Ward-Prowse came on for Paqueta. And I know some of you, Ward-Prowse ended up with Souček. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a shit show. But Rodriguez, I know what you guys. It was a very difficult afternoon for Rodriguez. It was just the right tactics, but the wrong time for it. Really, that's all I can say in front of what he's trying to do. But the fixtures are kind of they're unforgiving. The fixtures are unforgiving. They're very quick. We've got Palace away. I was just looking at our first 3 home fixtures, and it's something like Villa's already gone. Got Chelsea and Man City, I think. Villa, Man City and Chelsea, first 3 home games. So all I'll tell you guys, crowd, just stay positive. And I kept telling you, even after 10 games, if we're bottom 5, bottom 7, just bear with it. And I think it's a learning curve for Lopetegi. This is a very big club. It's an unforgiving club. It's a high-pressure club, and hopefully Lopetegi's learned a lot about the shit players that we've got. They're not going to fit into what he wants to do. And Somerville is too good to be on the sub. And Fulkrig needs to start. And just use Souček and Tony as good subs. And Ward-Prowse will have plenty of minutes as well. Mavropoulos, I don't really see a place for him in our team. Agerd, not really. Agerd might be all right because he's very good. This 4-3-3 formation he wants to do, you got to be very good. You got to keep it, but he's got to improve his defensive side. Agerd on the floor, he's got no problems, but he'll have to improve on that. We've got a couple of weeks left of the window. I think it looks like Lopetegi, and it is. I know it's only a 2-year. I know why he's in a rush. It's a 2-year contract. If we don't get into Europe, he hasn't got a job. I do get that. It is too early. It is too early to play a high line. Wrong players to play high line. Wrong players to play 4-3-3. They're not. Souček and Paqueta are not disciplined enough to play that. Rodriguez was fucking by himself getting beaten up. It wasn't nice to watch. So I don't want anyone having a go at him. He came off the pitch like he'd been in a boxing match. The guy probably lost a stone. Fucking hell, right? And Tony is a fucking arse. He fucking shit show. Lazy little fucker. Yeah, whether his legs ain't got it in him. There's no excuse to be like that in the first game, right? Old players are shit. New players, it's hard. It's hard, right? 1 or 2 players coming in is hard. Fitting that many in, it's hard, right? And pre-season has been shit for West Ham. We fucked off to America. It's a shit show with the weather, delays, long flights. There's a fucking hurricane out there. The players are delayed coming. It's a right complete fucking waste of time. And I'm sure Lopetegui didn't arrange that, right? So I'm summarising saying, thank God in a way that Lopetegui can see the shit that I keep saying are shit. And I don't want to see fucking any of them again. Do 4-2-3-1 Lopetegui. Do 4-2-3-1, like I've said, because we're missing 1 or 2 key personnel in there. And in such a system, we need the right players in every position. We don't have them, right? So you got another 2 windows. Keep learning, and I love Lopetegui. I could hear him shouting. Sorry, I could hear him screaming on the touchline. I love that. Constantly standing up, shouting, and he fucking looked pissed off at the end. I know all managers should, but he's a winner. Before you say what has he won, but he wants to win, especially against his country counterpart, right? I like that. He's got the fire. He's got the fire in his belly. I'm sure he works hard, and he's learned a lot. Unfortunately, losing the first game, the season's not good. Losing a home game ain't good. And it's only going to get tougher and tougher. Stick with it. Back him. We're all part of the West Ham family and club. And let's learn from it and move forward. And I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. I think he's got a ruthless streak to him. He's not stupid like Moyes, where when something ain't working, keep doing it, which was David Moyes' trait. I'm sure he ain't like that. I'm trusting him and trusting the new players. And even in the few minutes, Somerville, Todibo, I could tell they're brilliant. Rodriguez, I got no problem with him. Rodriguez, when Alvarez comes in, you'll see such a difference in him. Such a difference in him. Paqueta, I'm worried about. I don't see him fitting in anywhere. He's just not disciplined. Yeah, he's too good to drop. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just leaving it out there. It's difficult. Apart from that, I think it's all right. It's all right. And that's it, really. Again, we're only 25 short of reaching 3,000 subs. Please keep sharing. Please keep watching, and your funny comments. And Jazz can't pronounce names. I love all that. Keep that coming. Keep that coming. It's what it's all about. Going unedited, going out live. We're all amateurs. We're all trying to just express our opinions and passion for West Ham, sharing it with you guys, which I love to do, really. So God bless each and one of you. Keep the banter coming in and things like that, really. So have a great Sunday. What's kind of actually quite a lot of us left of it. I'm going to go in the garden again, ain't I? Go in the garden. I very much look forward to watching Man City, Chelsea. But listen, God bless you all. Don't let anyone wipe that smile away from your face. We're claret and blue blood. We love West Ham United. We love Lopetegui. We love our team, but we'll get there surely. Blip, of course it was. Disappointed, of course we are. Pissed off, of course we are, like we are with our family and kids. But we stay loyal. We stay positive. I think we're a long way away, and I don't think we're going to be anywhere near what Jazz start throwing glasses of rum and coke away and things like that, really. So yeah, we take care anyway. Take care. God bless you. Take care.